me tell you that we have gathered here to pay tribute for a person who needs no introduction. He made himself a legendary figure through his walks and contribution in the society and the advertising world and brand world. And I will not tell anything because I never walked with Piyush Pandey. But how we got connected in PRSI, that is our main thing. In 2022, when
rooted in relevance is what I think when I see the work of Shri Piyush Pandey. And today, when global aspirations are born from local minds, and when we are talking about innovation, and I feel the real innovation is happening who understands the soil very deeply. And yes, why it's important, because when we are disconnected from the roots, I think we change the direction. And when we stay grounded with our roots, we can grow fearless. And I think that is what he taught us.
About a month ago, after his passing, there was a celebration like this of Piyush in Bombay by Ogilvy. And of course, I was there. We were three very dear friends who grew up together, who did everything together, good and bad. And two of us were there talking about Piyush. So by the time our turn came, it was a massive tearjerker. Okay, everybody was talking and everybody was sobbing and everybody was crying. So when we came, we sort of turned the tide completely, because it's not for us to talk about his achievements. They're there in public domain. You people are probably more acquainted with it than I was with Piyush, but of course there was enormous respect for each other and tremendous love. But as in friends, you always underestimate each other and our achievements. And whenever he came out with an idea, I would say, oh gosh, it's rubbish, buddy, come on, yeah, grow out of this. And he said, if you are criticizing this particular idea, then I know it's damn good.
So we were pitching for a brand called Mangaldeep matchboxes from ITC. So before Piyush was supposed to visit Kolkata office, everyone was very tense and nervous, and we kind of prepared a lot of ideas and decks to discuss with him, share with him. And we were also kind of juniors. Piyush, we thought, would normally talk to the senior members of the team. But then he came and he walked in the conference room. Everyone was tense. What's next? But so Piyush ordered some samosas from Mochak. Mochak used to be in that same area. And then he called everyone. We went into the room, very tense. Big boss is there and everyone was scared of him. But we figured out that he's a fun person, cracking jokes, enjoying his samosas. And he started listening to all the ideas. And he even listened to me, listened to everyone very attentively.
I have very fleeting memories of him with my father. I believe, and what I remember is that they were very fond of each other. And they were both very humorous. So every time that we ran into him, was pretty much a treat. So knowing that, and knowing how picky he was about what would be said about him, I thought instead of picking stuff out from the internet, let me ask someone who he was very close to. Now, the person I asked, whose voice I really trust, he's Shumanto Chattopadhyay. And he worked with Piyush Pandey for over 10 years. Piyush Pandey was his boss and also very dear to him. So I thought, okay, let me ask him some very personal questions, which I think he would know the answers to. And I had to coax him to respond, but he, of course, did.
I have 10 lessons for communication professionals, which is through the Piyush Pandey way, his power talk and his communication in terms of his advertising, advertising word, story that he has said. So quickly I'll take you through it. First, lead with emotion, not information. So if you look at the Cadbury Dairy Milk ad of Kuch Khas Hai, it is all about the emotion of the girl in the excitement, the something that is overcoming the conventional narrative where you're not supposed to be on the field, in midway. But emotion takes over, and it's not selling of how chocolatey Cadbury is. It is how Cadbury is helping a person emote and express themselves freely without thinking of the conventional thoughts. Keep language simple, relatable, and alive. So Pandey's writing style avoids jargon, and as my esteemed panelists earlier had said, that how he's so true to the Indianness in his communication. He's never, sir talked about the British culture in advertising and how it was changed, and he brought in that Indianness in the language of advertising.
When I was with a big multinational which produced aluminium, I was handling their public relations, and we had this particular product. It was household foil. So we decided in our wisdom, let's say, that we would do a small campaign. Now, it was a huge company, multinational, but they had very small hearts. And somehow, I was not the one to push them to do something bigger. So what we did was, we launched a 3-month campaign on household foil. We called it Super Wrap. And it was about how do you take a sandwich to school, wrap it all up in Super Wrap. So things like that. When we did a review about 3 months later, we found nobody had ever seen this ad.
We should also see it from a little different perspective as well. So we all know his work of art is mostly celebrated amongst us because it is in the context of India. And today, I think, maybe even 15, 20 years back, as an Indian, I assume so, as an Indian, we are not that proud, like in the next, 15 years, you have become more Indian. There are many reasons, political reasons. People might ask that for thousands of years you have been under different, dominance and all these things. But really, in the last 15, 20 years, things has happened where we have started feeling that. So there, the tribute comes for him because since then, 80s, he thought like Indian context and Indian subject could be predominantly there in the Indian advertising. And our own product, our own services can be communicated in the market in Indian context. That is where we should pay our tribute to him. This is why, especially I'll tell you, because I'm a little patriot again. I really believe the Indianness is now the in thing. So from our perspective, if we talk about the communication, what he is guru of, we talk about, and it is guru really. For us, we cannot call him Piyush or even Piyush Pandey. I'll call him like guru of advertising.